the quiet street, and the 27 cats. Primrose Lane wasn't just a street, it was a slow, sweet exhale after a long day. Fireflies blinked in summer, kids chalked hopscotch squares on the sidewalk, and Mrs. Henderson always had cookies cooling on her windowsill, their cinnamon scent drifting like a friendly hello. We were a team, a mismatched collection of families who looked out for each other. That was until Mrs. Crabtree arrived. The moving van, a behemoth of chrome and cardboard, blocked half the street. 27 cat carriers, each meowing a unique brand of feline complaint, lined the curb like furry, protesting luggage. Mrs. Crabtree, a woman sculpted from sharp angles and disapproval, supervised the unloading with a hawk-like gaze. "Absolutely no feeding of the strays," she announced, her voice cutting through the humid air like a shattered window pane. She glared at Miguel, who was attempting to offer a tentative scratch to a ginger tabby escaping its carrier. "They are my responsibility, and I will have order." The tabby, unimpressed, darted under the moving van. Miguel, deflated, retreated to his porch. I watched from my window, a knot forming in my stomach. Primrose Lane was about to learn a new definition of order, and I had a feeling it wouldn't be pretty. The aroma of Mrs. Henderson's cookies, usually a comforting presence, suddenly felt wrong. "The rules begin." The announcement echoed through the community center, amplifying Mrs. Crabtree's already booming voice. "And it is with great humility and civic duty that I accept the position of Homeowners Association President." A smattering of polite applause barely masked the collective groan rippling through the room. Lily exchanged a worried glance with Abuelo Miguel. The first edict arrived a week later, printed on glossy, unnecessarily thick paper. Regulation 37B. All floral arrangements visible from the street are prohibited from containing the color red, crimson, scarlet, ruby. All shades are non-compliant. Lily stared at her abuelo's prize-winning rose bushes, bursting with vibrant, unapologetic red. He just shrugged, a flicker of sadness in his eyes. Next came the noise ordinance, specifically targeting lawn care. Regulation 42A. All lawnmowers utilized within the community must operate at a decibel level no greater than that of a whisper. Gas-powered mowers are hereby outlawed. Electric mowers will be subject to sound level testing. Mr. Henderson, whose ancient mower coughed and sputtered like a grumpy dragon, nearly choked on his coffee when he read it. Grumbling started. Whispered complaints at the mailbox, pointed stares at Mrs. Crabtree as she power-walked through the neighborhood with her clipboard, noting infractions. Lily watched, a knot of anger tightening in her stomach. This wasn't about community, it was about control. And something told her this was only the beginning. Abuelo Miguel patted her hand. "Paciencia, mi nina." Patience. But Lily wasn't sure how much patience she had left. The blocked ambulance. Abuelo Miguel loved his garden. The scent of roses and earth always brought a smile to his wrinkled face. But today, as he reached for a ripe tomato, his foot caught on a rogue root and he tumbled. Lily, playing nearby, heard the thud and rushed to his side. "Abuelo, are you all right?" His face was pale and he clutched his hip. "I, Lilybug, I think I've done a number on myself." Lily, her heart pounding, dialed 911. The ambulance arrived quickly, siren wailing, lights flashing. But as it turned onto their narrow street, a gleaming silver sedan blocked its path. It was Mrs. Crabtree's. "What in the world?" Lily muttered, running towards the commotion. Mrs. Crabtree stood beside her car, arms crossed, a thunderous expression on her face. "You can't park on the grass. It's against HOA regulations." "I just had it reseated." The paramedics tried to reason with her. "Ma'am, this is an emergency. We need to get through." "Not over my lawn, you won't," she shrieked, brandishing a perfectly manicured finger. Lily felt a surge of anger. "Mrs. Crabtree, my grandfather is hurt. Move your car." "Rules are rules, Lily," she retorted, her voice dripping with disdain. Precious minutes ticked by. Lily watched Abuelo Miguel, his face etched with pain. Each second felt like an eternity. The paramedics were growing increasingly agitated, their pleas falling on deaf ears. Lily knew she had to do something, anything, before it was too late. A granddaughter's vow. Abuelo Miguel was pale but awake. Relief flooded Lily, so potent it almost knocked her over. He squeezed her hand, his grip surprisingly strong. "Don't you worry, mi nieta," he rasped, his voice scratchy. "This old man is tougher than he looks." Back home, the air hung thick with unspoken anxieties. Her parents hovered, whispering about blood pressure and the need for more salt-free meals. Lily felt caged. "It's not his heart, it's her," she finally exploded, slamming her fist on the kitchen table. "Mrs. Crabtree did this." All the yelling, all those stupid rules, it stressed him out. Her mother sighed, running a hand through her perpetually tired hair. Lily, don't be like that. Mrs. Crabtree is just a bully. Lily finished, her voice trembling. She can't just make people sick with her rule stick. We have to do something. Her father, usually the calm one, looked grim. There's not much we can do, Mija. It's her house, her rules. That's when the spark ignited in Lily's eyes. She wasn't entirely sure what she could do, but she refused to accept defeat. The smell of her abuelo's favorite empanadas, now cooling on the counter, fueled her resolve. She would find a way. She had to. Then I'll change the rules, she declared, the words a quiet vow. Somehow I'm going to change them. The weight of that promise settled on her shoulders, heavy but not unwelcome. The fight had only just begun. The empty lot and a secret plan. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows as Lily walked home from school, kicking a loose pebble down the sidewalk. Glancing sideways, she noticed something she hadn't before, an empty lot nestled between Mrs. Crabtree's perfectly manicured lawn and the dilapidated fence separating it from the next property. Weeds sprouted defiantly and discarded tires lay half-buried in the dirt. It was an eyesore, a blank canvas screaming for something. An idea sparked in Lily's mind, bright and audacious. A community garden. A place where everyone could grow vegetables, flowers, maybe even have a little farmer's market on weekends. It would be a haven of beauty and collaboration, a direct contrast to Mrs. Crabtree's sterile, rule-obsessed world. That evening, Lily presented her plan to her parents, spreading a hand-drawn map of the lot on the kitchen table. Her mom, always practical, raised an eyebrow. Lily, honey, that land probably costs a fortune. And who even owns it? I checked online. Lily chirped, pointing to a hastily printed document. It's owned by some out-of-state company that hasn't paid property taxes in years. It's practically free for the taking. Her dad, usually reserved, leaned forward, intrigued. A community garden, that's actually a pretty good idea, Mija. And sticking it to Crabtree? Even better. He winked. Lily pressed her advantage. We could use our savings. Plus, I'll get a job and save every penny. We can do this. Her parents exchanged a look. They knew that when Lily set her mind to something, mountains moved. Her mom sighed, a smile playing on her lips. All right, Helipad, let's look into this. But if we're doing this, we're doing it right. Rumors and whispers. The clang of metal echoed down Primrose Lane before the sun even thought about rising. Lily had hired a small crew, promising them extra donuts if they started before Mrs. Crabtree's morning constitutional. Abuelo Miguel watched from the porch, a thermos of coffee steaming in his hand, his eyes twinkling. By mid-morning, the empty lot was a hive of activity. Cement trucks grumbled, workers shouted instructions, and the skeletal frame of something began to rise. Curiosity, a tangible thing, wafted from every manicured lawn. Mr. Henderson, perpetually watering his prize-winning roses, paused, his brow furrowed. Mrs. Gable, known for her prize-winning gossip, hurried across the street, a Tupperware container suspiciously full in her hand. What exactly is going up over there, Miguel? She chirped, sidling up to Abuelo. He just smiled, sipped his coffee, and said, Lily has big plans, Mrs. Gable. Big plans. The rumors started before lunchtime. A swimming pool? A tennis court? A giant inflatable flamingo? Mrs. Crabtree, observing the chaos from behind her pristine lace curtains, felt a twitch develop in her left eye. The audacity. The sheer, unmitigated gall of that girl. She marched to her phone, her fingers stabbing at the numbers for the HOA president. This simply would not do. Whatever Lily Rodriguez was building, Agatha Crabtree was determined to shut it down. The grand reveal. Saturday arrived, shimmering with the deceptive calm of a perfectly manicured lawn. Lily bounced on the balls of her feet, watching as Abuelo Miguel carefully positioned himself in his wheelchair near the newly laid concrete slab. A large, crimson tarp billowed gently in the breeze, hiding her handiwork from prying eyes. The neighborhood was out in force. Curiosity, thick and sticky as molasses, hung in the air. Mrs. Crabtree, predictably, was front and center, her face a pinched mask of disapproval. This had better be up to code, young lady, she snapped, her voice tight with suspicion. Lily grinned, ignoring the barb. All right, everyone. The moment you've all been waiting for. With a flourish, she yanked the tarp away. A collective gasp swept through the crowd. The helipad, painted a vibrant, almost defiant red, gleamed in the sunlight. Mrs. Crabtree's carefully constructed composure shattered. Her mouth worked soundlessly for a moment, then sputtered, A helipad? On residential property? This is an outrage. Lily stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. This isn't just a helipad, Mrs. Crabtree. It's an emergency landing zone. For medevac helicopters. For Abuelo and for anyone else in this neighborhood who might need urgent medical attention. She gestured to her grandfather, who beamed at her with pride. So next time, when seconds count, we won't have to worry about ambulances being blocked. Chaos and recognition. The air cracked with a sound like 1,000 angry hornets. Dust devils erupted across Mrs. Crabtree's meticulously raked gravel garden paths. Cats, fat from pilfered tuna sandwiches, scattered like furry bowling pins. The helipad, gleaming innocently in the morning sun only moments before, now vibrated with the force of a startled giant. My petunias! Mrs. Crabtree shrieked, her voice barely audible over the thwack-thwack-thwack of the helicopter blades. Petals, torn from their stems, swirled around her like confetti at a macabre celebration. She clutched her chest, a hand fluttering against her pearl necklace. This is an outrage. I'll sue. I'll. Her threats dissolved into a spluttering cough as a particularly vicious gust of rotor wash kicked up a cloud of pollen. Later that day, the town square buzzed with a different kind of energy. Banners proclaiming Lily Rodriguez Day flapped gently in the breeze. A small stage had been erected, adorned with wilting sunflowers. Lily, fidgeting in a dress her abuela had insisted she wear, stood beside the mayor, who beamed at the crowd. For her tireless dedication to our community, for her innovative spirit and unwavering compassion, the mayor boomed, his voice amplified by the loudspeakers, we award Lily Rodriguez the key to the city and this Medal of Civic Merit. He pinned the medal, a heavy bronze disc, onto Lily's dress. It felt strangely cold against her skin. As applause thundered around her, Lily caught Abuelo Miguel's eye. He winked, but his smile seemed strained, like a story he was struggling to finish. Peace restored. The next day dawned brighter than any Lily could remember. Gone was the oppressive gray that seemed to cling to Primrose Lane, replaced by a vibrant sunshine that dared to paint the houses in hues Mrs. Crabtree would surely disapprove of. Children's laughter, a sound absent for too long, echoed through the air as they chased a rogue soccer ball down the street, directly across Mrs. Crabtree's meticulously manicured lawn. She sputtered, a tiny figure framed in her doorway, but no one paid her any mind. Inside the Rodriguez home, Abuelo Miguel was sitting up in bed, his eyes twinkling. Lilybug, he rasped, his voice stronger than it had been in weeks. The birds are singing a different song today. A happy one. He reached for her hand, his grip firm. Later that afternoon, the news arrived. Mrs. Crabtree had been voted out of the HOA presidency. The final straw, apparently, had been her attempt to ban inflatable flamingos. Lily also learned she would be receiving the key to the city and a Medal of Civic Merit at the town hall next week. Primrose Lane was healing. Mr. Henderson, emboldened by Mrs. Crabtree's fall from grace, repainted his gnome a shocking shade of lime green. Mrs. Peterson's roses, once pruned into submission, now bloomed wildly, their fragrant petals spilling onto the sidewalk. The air buzzed with the sweet aroma of Mrs. Kim's kimchi and the rhythmic clang of Mr. Johnson's wind chimes. The neighborhood was a riot of color and sound, a defiant celebration of life and community. Peace, it seemed, had finally been restored, one outrageous flamingo and one lime green gnome at a time.